Hello there, my name is Tuomas, this is Sound of Free, and I'm here today to talk with you about some recent news that kind of have flown under the radar, I think, in the Beach Boys world, concerning a Beach Boys reunion of sorts. And I'm very excited about this. I don't know about you guys, but anyway, this comes from a Mike Love interview from a Alabama local news paper, from online article. It's an interview of Mike, and the title reads Mike Love Talks Beach Boys, Jimmy Buffett Jamming with Jimmy Page. And this was published, or updated at least, on October 5th this year. And I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'll link it down below if you want to read it. There's a lot of stuff in it. But at the very end of it, I'll read this section for you, so you will hear it straight from the horse's mouth. These are not my words, these are Mike Love's words. Where is it? It's down here somewhere. The interviewer asks Mike, earlier you mentioned your cousin Brian. When you and Brian Wilson speak these days, is it mostly about Beach Boys business or about growing up together? And Mike answers, we don't talk about business. Maybe I should do a Mike Love impersonation. We don't talk about business. We talk about old times and what we did back in the day in high school and what have you. In fact, we did a filming for a documentary that's being put together on the Beach Boys. And David Marks and Al Jardine, Brian and myself and Bruce Johnston got together. Brian really remembered some remarkable things about our growing up together and things we experienced. And we even did a little bit of a cappella singing together on the beach at Paradise Cove, where the first album cover with our Pendleton woolen shirts on that little old truck that they had on the sand. And so yeah, it was a really, really nice reunion. We had a great time. So, and that's it. The whole thing ends. It's like, what a cliffhanger. Come on, like, what? Come on, I want to hear more. But anyhow, so he's talking about the Beach Boys documentary that I think was supposed to come out this year. So I have no idea when this section with the boys together was filmed. Was it this year or the year prior? I don't know. But I'm surprised that there hasn't been any leaks of that, because it's a public spot. So if they all went back to the Paradise Cove location, that should be a pretty like groundbreaking thing. But you know, you can see that spot, Brian visiting that spot in the Long Promised Road documentary. But anyhow, this documentary about the Beach Boys has been hinted by Al Jardine, at least in some interviews from the past few years. I believe it was supposed to come out for the 60th anniversary of the group, but it didn't, and we haven't really got any official releases about it yet, which is kind of strange that we don't know anything about it really, like who's producing it or who's directing it and stuff like that. I hope that they did some sort of group interview together. Those are always great to see. It's always great to see Mike and Brian especially together, because they are so rarely together these days. Since the 2012 interview, I think they have only been together in the same room for 2 or 3 times, which is pretty sad. But yeah, I mean, if they even sang in it a little bit, it just sounds so great. And I wish it would be so great if they get together and just if they would, you know, get together and do even just a cozy little album, like the album that Brian released with him just playing the piano, but maybe them just singing or something, like something just casual. It would be so great. Probably not gonna happen, but it would be really great. But yeah, there's really not much else to say about it right now, because we don't really know anything about the project. I don't want to come out and judge the thing before I see it, but obviously I have my doubts about the thing, you know, whether it's gonna be great or not. You know, I wish that it was great and will be great, but who knows, you know. I think the Beach Boys really deserves this anthology type of a, you know, big documentary, maybe like a mini-series thing, in the same style that that Grateful Dead docu-series came about some years back. I thought that was excellent, one of the best musical documentaries that I've ever seen. Because the Beach Boys, they have the biggest, like, their whole career is just this huge saga, or multiple sagas with, you know, different eras, and they have so many albums and musical directions and you know, different members and everything. Like, I would love if there was a documentary that would cover it all, and not just the early hits, Pet Sounds, and then flash forward to, you know, these days, you know, which has been the case in pretty much each of the docus that have been produced about them up until this day. So, you know, I would love if there actually was stuff about the 80s as well, and 70s, and even, I mean, the Holland album is, even though it's highly acclaimed these days, the whole process of creating it, and you know, that whole thing, it's there's very little documentation of it, which is a shame. But anyhow, I'm getting sidetracked. I'm just throwing out some ideas that I wish that the docu would include, but we'll see when we will eventually see it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.